that you're going to say, all right, now we're being live streamed.
All
Let me
right.
see. Let me wait for YouTube to pick it up. It ain't picked it up yet. Let me search this again. You're going to say,
Oh, damn.
Right, now we're being live streamed.
There we fucking
Let me
are.
see.
Holy shit. All right.
Hold on. Wait a minute. Hold on. Let me get the word out. And for God's sakes, don't do the terrible intro played through a tin can again.
What do you mean?
That's fucking awful. It sounded awful. Did you listen to the playback of that?
What intro? I don't know what you're talking about, honestly.
Fucking terrible, dude. Don't do that.
No, I don't even know what you're talking about. That's weird.
Where you
I don't know what you're talking about.
You fucker.
Well, I guess we can go ahead and start here. Yeah, I don't know about the intro music, but hey, what's up, Dark Judges, Desperados, Dudes, and Dick Shaped Helmets? You're listening to Accursed Earth Radio, the one and only podcast brought to you from the inside of a tin can.
Fucking, we live here now. This is our life. And we're going up to two on you with a double whammy of Prague's 2260 and 2261 tonight. All I'm going to say is the cover of Prague 2260 is the greatest goddamn cover in the history of 2000 AD. And this Judge Dredd story is the greatest goddamn Judge Dredd story in the history of Judge Dredd. Fight me.
And if you want to fight him, his name is Cool Johnny Cool.
And that's Heavy Metal Kid, and you're listening to Cursed Earth Radio. Fucking okay, Dredd, fine.
Hey, Judge Dredd does what he wants to do. He don't be waiting for me or you. We can't stop him. You gotta
stop with the bullshit tin can bad tape recording intro. It sounds like we already lower expectations. That's even putting them in the ground with that bullshit.
Listen, man. Here's the problem that I see with what you're saying there. You're coming to me, a person who the only thing I listen to music-wise is something that sounds like it's in a tin can.
I know, but our listeners don't give a shit about potato quality. I mean, they do.
Exactly. They don't give a shit about potato quality. That's why they're here. Oh, my God. Listen, I'll be honest with you. You might be right. You might be right about your idea that this may be the greatest Judge Dredd story. We just saw the wrap up of what might be the greatest Judge Dredd story.
Is the greatest Judge Dredd story of all time. And I'm thinking, since we're doing both progs, if we get a story that's a two-part in these two progs, we just talk about that whole goddamn story.
I agree. We can do that with this. We can do that with Scarlet Traces this week. Makes perfect sense. Look, I love a good, like, quick, little burst, little one or two shot.
Little Tugger.
Man,
I heard that about you with your one or two shots.
Little Tugger.
Tugger.
This was it. As
my esteemed co-host once said, BG Ouija.
Yes, get yourself a nice BG Ouija there.
Is that what you're recommending for all of our listeners right now?
We are the BG Ouija in podcast form for you here today. Strangely enough, somehow.
Whoa! I ain't getting paid enough for that.
Well, I ain't getting paid at all. That's
my point.
We do have, though, here before us a couple some really great stories. But do we have any Judge Dredd news? That is the question.
Well, the pre-orders for the Hiya Toys Judge Dredd are now up on Big Bad Toy Store and whatever digital outlet you look for your toys at. So go ahead and pre-order those. Those are due, I think, August of next year.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you on those. I'm very on the fence. I wish
they're $20. I've seen you spend $20 on dumber shit.
No, I know what you're saying, and I probably will buy them because it's Judge Dredd, but they just look so much exactly like the Mezco and exactly like the 3A. It was like, I don't know. I crave a different style. And I'm not putting down Hiya Toys. I'm sure, I feel like they did a fine job. But if you're essentially with Judge Dredd, you're selling to the same exact people. And what we've had a lot of, intentionally or unintentionally, has been, hey, did you like the Mezco Dredd? Here's the exact almost same figure from 3A. And now they were different enough. But then it was like, it even accidentally happened totally with Sideshow Collectibles. Hey, you like this big Dredd statue with his foot up on the rock and standing on an alien?
I was going to say, you got some pretty big Judge Dredd statues that look eerily similar to one another.
Well, no, I actually don't. No. I'm talking about Dredd with the foot on the rock versus Dredd from Q Collectibles with foot on the robot. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay. When you also have Cursor take a dump Dredd.
That's my favorite Dredd.
He's angry. Look, I totally agree with you on the styles being eerily similar.
Yeah.
But you know how starved we are for Dredd. And anytime something like that comes out that's in my price range, your price range for Dredd is way wider than my price range. But then
that's because you flirt with that RoboCop fella.
Your hobby is more focused, whereas my hobbies are more akin to a shotgun scatter.
Yeah.
Where they're all over the fucking place.
Sure.
But this Dredd is in my price range, so I'm going to support the cause and get that. And speaking of RoboCop,
but I will say this. I feel like I need to say this. I feel like this is very important. You
have a tiny penis.
No, you're taking my job now. My job is to call your penis. No. I'm sorry. Your penis is not tiny. It just doesn't work. That's
what's
fine.
Worse, having a tiny dick or not having a dick that don't work? Like it's 6 to 1, half a dozen the other.
Listen to me. Here's what I'm saying. Hiya Toys, right?
Yes.
They've said Dark Judges are coming at some point. If they leave Judge Fire out, they can fuck off. Because look, I don't know what the problem was. Over at 3A Toys with all their master craftsmanship toys that they were like, boys, we just can't figure out how to do a skeleton on fire. But Judge Fire got left in the dust.
It's not because he was hard to make. It's that nobody gives a shit.
Well, here we are podcasting about it.
Well, no, like I remember the Christ Star Crystal Warrior figures from when I was a kid and the Iceman figure from when I was a kid. They were all translucent. It's got to be fairly easy to pull off a Judge Fire.
Yeah. I mean, really, it's Ghost Rider without a jacket. How hard can that be?
Yeah, you just mold them in translucent. I mean, like orange translucent plastic. It ain't rocket science.
Our guys over at those
guys.
Yeah, they managed to make a Judge Fire badge. So, somebody's over there doing it right. And I'm just saying, like, if you're going to release the Dark Judges, don't leave us hanging. Don't leave us hanging. I'm going to support Hiya Toys. Sure, $20. I'm going to buy it.
Yeah, you can't not buy it for $20, man.
No, but but if there's going to be just complete. Hey, we had someone in the chat just jumped in and said wiener.
Hey, they're in the right place. We're dicking around in here. $20 for a Dredd figure for the smaller scale, I believe. Dredd figure ain't bad. You can't not support. And the cool thing about Big Bad, you can pre-order that shit right now. You don't have to pay till it shows up. So me pre-ordering on Big Bad is a lot like what you've seen me do when we go out toy shopping, where I just pick up something and wander around with it and then go, I don't need this, and put it down.
Yeah.
So you can decide later. I did also, while I was there, next year is the 35th anniversary of RoboCop. So NECA is dropping some brand new 7-inch RoboCops. They've got one, the battle damage RoboCop from the end of RoboCop, but he comes with the diagnostic chair and he's got the data spike interchangeable fist. Yeah. So he was like $70. I pre-ordered him. And then there's another one that comes with the basic armor, but he comes with the Cobra assault cannon. Yeah. So that was, I think, $30. So I was like, if I could pre-order that shit, we're living large. We're going to do this. But no, like, you can't not buy the Hiya for $20. It helps. 2080 is such an underdog, especially in this country that you and I occupy, that I believe that every little bit helps.
Well, and the struggle is, I know that the struggle is definitely like those of us who are super fans, we get tired of seeing the same thing.
Yeah.
But the reason we never make it to, oh, hey, guess what? There's a fucking Judge Fire coming out is because the fans buy up the first thing that they release, which is Dredd, thinking, holy shit, we're going to get this whole run. It doesn't sell well enough. We get right back where we come from. But, so I get it in that. But yeah, I hope if they do the Dark Judges, man. I hope they really do the Dark Judges and don't give us, all the Beatles except for Ringo.
No, like Fire's going to be my next guitar pick. You've seen my custom picks. Mm-hmm. I've got Death and I've got Fear right now. So Fire will be next and Mortis will follow. I might do a Judge Penn Dark Judge pick just to be done with it.
Yeah.
Make her into. I was going to do the Glow in the Dark picks, and it sounded real cool because it would work really well with Fear. But then I was like, we play under stage lights. Like, what the fuck point would it be to spend? And then they're like an extra $15 for the Glow in the Darks. I was like,
I leave guitar picks around like Hansel and Gretel leave breadcrumbs. Like they just fall. I can't keep them. I used to play, Johnny. There was a time when I played with a 3.25 millimeter thick
beefy
guitar pick, and they were $650 each, and like I was losing those fucking things so frequently that it was like, why am I doing this to myself? Like, what's going on here?
See, I stick with the 1 millimeters. It gives me enough bite on my strings where I can tell where my right hand is, and I can play. But they don't break, so I don't go through a lot of them. They just wear down.
Yeah.
So occasionally I'll be on stage and I'll just flick, like I'll try to do some front guy bullshit, and I'll throw like a pick out after a couple songs. But and nobody gives a shit. Like the guitar player is like, man, I throw those out in the audience, and I'm like, dude, nobody fucking cares. They're gonna start throwing them back. Calm the fuck down. You're stay in our lane, and our lane is no one gives a shit. So.
Kind of like our podcast. Hey, yeah. I did have one more bit of 2000 AD news to spring on here. And I just, it's kind of made me chuckle because it made me think of a Cursed Earth Radio moment that we both had, is that here we have coming, I guess it's available now, Hellman, the Hellman of Hammer Force.
He's going to go with the Thieves of the Western Front.
No, I saw Hellman of Hammer Force, and I remember when the two of us read it, and like we were by no means easily offended or triggered or anything, but we both read Hellman, and having no context, we were both like, is this dude just like a Nazi? What is the story? A Nazi?
We allowed to be reading this?
2000 AD's been hitting us with that stuff lately, but I remember like I was reading it and I was like, well, I'm kind of dumb. I don't know history. Like maybe it's but it seems like he's just a Nazi. And then like you mentioned it on our broadcast, so maybe, I don't know, but I'm interested, honestly, if I had the time, and I struggle for time to read these days, but I would sit down and read Hellman of Hammer Force.
I'm pretty sure you get a free copy with this every Screwdriver record you buy.
Yeah, right.
I watched JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, the new season. The first 12 episodes just hit Netflix, so I fucking nerded out last week. But in the second season, the second story arc of JoJo, you're confronted, and I've talked about this in the podcast, but nobody's heard that episode because it disappeared long ago.
Yes.
There's a character in the second story arc. His name is Rudolf Von Stroheim. He's a fucking Nazi, but he's a virtuous Nazi, and he ends up helping Jonathan Joestar win out in the end. And the whole series, you're going, yeah, get him, Stroheim. Oh, fuck, he's a Nazi. I'm conflicted. Shit. Yeah, okay. All right.
It was just like, sometimes, like, I feel like I'm sure our listeners will disagree, but I feel like, we're pretty like, we get British comics as much as
I don't think
Americans
we do.
Can.
I don't think we do. I think our Brit listeners just listen to us and go, oh, I'm glad they let the Special Boys make a podcast.
Yes. I mean, I know there's an element of that, but I think to some degree we get it. But in context, like, I just remember reading Hellman and being like, I whenever I say Hellman, I feel like I'm talking about Miracle Whip.
Yeah, I just see a jar of mayonnaise with an SS badge on, which a mutual friend Mark would just love.
He would like that. Yeah, he would really like that. Yeah, so I don't know. It brought me back to a time when we were reading 2000 AD, and I was just like, is there some sort of, am I missing something? Where's the gap?
I don't think Rebellion's going to be marketing a Hellman of Hammer Force movie anytime soon.
All right.
God, I hope not. That's not going to go over in this country, brother.
I love the treasury of British comic stuff, and like again, like if I had more time on my hands, I would really just like to sit down and consume all of the treasury of British comic stuff, because to me, like, it's just something that you get way outside of what we sort of get here for American comics, like clever ideas and just, you know, I don't know. I other than like the, you know, Bobby has a magical soccer shoe, like that shit I'm not interested in, but
it really just seems like the 60s and I guess the 50s, 60s, and 70s in British comic books was like, we got to fill pages. What do you have? And it just, I just imagined a threadbare office of guys going, I don't know, I don't know. That guy's got magical soccer shoes. Fucking run it. I don't care.
And they're like, yeah, okay, that'll go right after the guy whose name is the Spider, who wears purple and has nipple guns. I
was gonna bring him up. Yeah. Oh, I love his nipple guns. That's fucking. We got a deadline. Run it. I don't care. Just run it. God, I hate you. That's all we got. We're running it.
So is this a part of the podcast where we talk about how Rob Williams and Chris Weston have made our favorite Judge Dredd story of the year?
Jesus, not even the year. This is my new number one Judge Dredd story of all time. I will die on this hill. You can argue against it, but trust me, I'm not arguing from a place of reason. So fuck whatever you're saying. It's not going to land.
Well, you got something you've wanted for a long time in this story.
Oh my God. Can we talk about the cover of Frog 2260 and how it deserves to be in the Louvre?
It is maybe the greatest cover we've seen this year.
No. All time, all 40.
Even the cover,
the cover. I mean, you've got Sensitive Clegg, who we fell in love with in Trifecta. Fucking Walter, and it's not some parallel dimension or hallucination dream sequence. It's Walter. Then you've got Guy in Sob Judge costume, Guy in Spike's Harvey Rotten costume, Guy in Mean Machine costume, Guy in Max Normal costume, Guy in Chopper costume, Guy in Judge Death costume, and Guy in Don Uggy Apollino costume. 2000 AD may as well just stop publishing after this story. We're done. This is the apex, except put out Vex Part 3, and that's fine. We can do that. But we're done. This is the apex.
Don Uggy Apollino. My favorite thing is that it's like, what I love about the idea of this cover is, everybody on the cover are the actors in their costumes.
Not everybody. That's Walter.
Well, okay. Well, outside of Walter, what I'm getting at is Don Uggy Apollino. It's just an ape that they put in a suit that Don Uggy Apollino would wear.
Do you think they gave him a real gun?
Oh my God. Yeah, this is a masterpiece cover. I even love the disco light 2000 AD logo.
I downloaded this last week and almost did a old school pratfall comedy spit take when the cover popped up. This is the apex of human achievement in all categories. This is it. Thanks for being here. We're done. Signing off.
And that was the last 2000 AD was ever published.
Where can it go? It can only go down from here.
I mean, it's going to be a tough sell. They got the goddamn Michelin Man, the Jolly Green Giant. They've got Ronald McDonald. They in this play, and this is the truth. As I was reading this, I was a little bit sad because I'm never going to get to see this play.
Rebellion could lose their goddamn minds and go, fuck it, put it on. Because I want to talk to Rob Williams about the beef is squashed, my friend. The moon, we're done. I want to hear the melodies that he was humming in his head to these songs.
Oh yeah. Well, originally, so as I was reading through, I was reading, the lyrics to Sensitive Clegg's song. And I was reading it in like a show tunes kind of way. And then I went, oh, wait a minute. This is a rap. Oh, this is a rap musical. So I actually flipped pages back and rapped those lyrics to myself. So
can we do a live video with you just in your Judge Dredd costume rapping?
I think that we should maybe work on trying to just recreate this production.
Oh my God. This is where all the Curse Stars Radio money is going.
Yeah. Yeah. All of the $0.
They've even got Twark? What was his name? The
Tweak.
little alien? Yeah. He's in here. But I was in my heart of hearts when Clegg goes to Walter, and is it like a robot retirement home?
It's a retirement home.
Oh, fuck.
It's a retirement.
That was great. My heart went, oh God, he's got Judge Fish. We all know Judge Fish is dead, but he's got Judge Fish in my heart.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. I thought the exact same thing, is that, so Sensitive Clegg, if there's not enough big names, for those who haven't read this masterpiece yet, there's not enough big names in Sensitive Clegg's rap musical, so he has to go find and someone who knew Dredd, so he gets Walter. And there's that panel where Walter's feeding this fish, and I did the same thing. I didn't care. I wanted it to be Judge Fish in my mind.
And you notice he's got a picture of Joe on the wall behind him framed, right?
Of course. He is, people always talk about Samwise Gamgee in Lord of the Rings being this devoted friend, but Walter is here holding a candle for a man who's been the biggest dick ever to him and hates him.
It's, you know what? Everybody goes on about the Joker Harley Quinn relationship. Joe and Walter did it first, so fucking whatever.
Because I'll never forget the one reminiscence that Joe has had about Walter. The last one was him thinking about Walter sniveling.
What the fuck? And it's just an abusive relationship, and Joe doesn't care. I think one of my favorite things, because we get a little narrative from the Clegg's point of view when he's going through to collect all of these people for the musical, and he's sitting down with Walter for tea, and Clegg's narrative says, at first, Walter was reticent about appearing in my hip hop musical, and then cut to Walter. I am hesitant about appearing in your hip hop musical. I'm like, that's fuck, because Clegg is he's beautifully simple yet highly emotional.
Yes,
and it's like it's just very matter of fact. Like, here's what he said, and then he fucking says it. Like, I fucking love it.
No, it's brilliant, man. And the comedic timing in this, like, there were legitimately in this one panels that made me laugh out loud. That was definitely one, him being reticent, and then we had a waiting. My other one was there's one that took place here, because again, we got Enormo Overdrive 3 here,
which I have questions about.
I'm sure you were just as excited though as I was for that one too.
Have you ever got a boner reading a comic book? Just an excitement boner, not like a lusty boner. Like, holy shit! They did
that same thing though, where it's like blah blah blah, Enormo Overdrive, and so Enormo 3 vowed revenge, and then it cuts to him going, "I vow revenge."
But why is he 3? Because Enormo Overdrive was Enormo Overdrive,
right?
So why is he 3? Where's Enormo Overdrive Jr.?
Well, yeah, that's an unanswered question. Maybe somebody out there knows, but I thought maybe they were trying to foreshadow that he has a boss or something, because there's a panel where we see Overdrive 2 Incorporated, right?
Yeah.
And then it says, it shows Enormo 3, and he says, Enormo Overdrive 3 smells blood in the water. Were we supposed to take away from that maybe he killed Enormo Overdrive 2?
I don't know. And I hope the door is blown so far back open, because all of my favorite things from Trifecta are here, with the exception of Dirty Frank. Dirty Frank needs to stop being sad with Ugly Hershey and Shithole Town and come back and be Dirty Frank in this, because we need Dirty Frank in this.
Yeah. No, man, I absolutely loved this. Was like one of the best. It's right up my alley, because I like a good epic, but I've always really gotten a lot out of like just the fun, sort of zany little like one or two shots, and like this just has so much stuff. It was very gratifying as a fan who's read more stuff now than we had when we started, to see all the little Easter eggs that they put in here.
I mean, they've got to call me Kenneth in the chorus line at the end. There's Rico, Uncle Umpty. I mean, the one guy with the round head, I've read the story he's from, but I can't remember their names. They're from I think the syndicates, where it's a real long, dry story you'll never read.
I was just glad we got some fatties, because that's where my bread and butter is.
Well, you're not going to have any bread and butter if the fatties there. But yeah, so as I'm reading this, and our backer I said something was up with Acton in the first chapter of this story. Like he's gonna fuck over Clegg or something.
Yeah.
And as it goes on, and then you see the Acton on the phone, and they're going over this plan. Then I saw the shark mouth and went, "Oh my god! Oh my god! This is the greatest story ever, and this is the best Judge Dredd story ever, ever, ever. I don't give a shit what anybody says." And there he is. There he is. He's back. Some genetically.
And then we also have this guy, Sir Lawrence Ducart, who is like, the greatest thespian in Mega City 1, and blah 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 blah. And what I love, and I guess this is getting a little bit ahead of ourselves, but since we're talking about the whole thing, there's a point where he's fucking hammered, he's tanked, and they gotta like rouse him from his drunken haze, and they're like, fucking, and I'm sure you want to talk about the thing that happens before that, so I will leave that for you as well. But he goes, get out there, you got to be Judge Death, and he walks out. You must
become the role.
Yeah, and he's slurring his words because he's fucking drunk, and they're like, oh my god, he's such a thespian, he's so great, he's the greatest actor in the world, and he's drunk, and he's just like, man.
He goes full tilt into the crowd and starts trying to eat people. It is fucking amazing. Oh my god,
for sure.
I love the fact that we got the entire Enormo Overdrive speech because you were or presentation video again, because you were fortunate enough to be in the presence of Enormo Overdrive III.
Yes.
Oh, it's fucking seriously. If anybody is listening to this right now and you haven't read Trifecta, go read Trifecta. It is fucking amazing, and Judge Dredd the musical will make so much more sense to you.
Yeah, I mean, so someone in the chat also said, Johnny, that they also read it that Overdrive 2 okay. They read it that Overdrive 2 was him as a human, and then to redefine himself post Sharkhead transplant, he's now Overdrive 3. That may be because he's now spliced his species DNA with a shark.
I was going to say, he didn't have a head transplant. He did what his father did and spliced his DNA with a hammerhead to be legally distinct and different from a normal Overdrive. But can we talk about, they've got the Grunwalder doing a breakdance, and then Mean Machine is doing his best Flavor Flav.
Oh my god.
I mean, I can't explain how great this is. It's fucking amazing. And then Walter has to save the day because our thespian is shit hammered and can't get out there. And Walter goes out and pours his whittle circuits out about his love for Judge Dredd. But the Wobot War inside Walter is waging, but nobody will know. Jesus fucking, I know they give Pulitzers, but this deserves something bigger than a Pulitzer, like a fucking Oscar. This gets an Oscar.
I love it. There's a point too where like he pours his heart out, and some old lady goes, "Get on with it," and then the guy goes, "Yeah, the robot ballot was transcendent, but what's the holdup?" Oh, I guess we should say, while all this insanity is going on, meanwhile, Overdrive has this plan. He's going to kill Sensitive Clegg and Dredd because he knows Dredd's going to come busting in with all this nonsense. He's going to have them assassinated, take care of two birds with one stone. And of course, all the things we were worried about do happen. Dredd comes in with a group of judges, and everybody's going to get fucking in trouble for jimping.
Yeah, because this was not legally sanctioned by the Justice Department.
Right. This is where the Justice Department is just clearly operating on the level of absurdity if they actually believe that, oh, somebody might have mistaken Sensitive Clegg for a judge. But hey,
well, his helmet fits now, so it's much more believable.
The best part about this, for you and for all of us, I guess, and I'll go ahead and agree here, is the fact that at the end of this, while Sensitive Clegg's producer, who believed he truly was one of the great artists, musicians of all time, while he does die, Enormo 3 and Walter survive to the end.
They do, and Enormo 3 says, "Shark Paw," trademark. Which I fucking. But I think one of my favorite parts was while Acton is taking the bullet for Clegg, and he's dying in Clegg's arms, and he tells Clegg that you are unique and special. You are special, and Clegg says, "Oh, thank you, my friend. I've never felt so special. Nothing will mean more to me than this." And then Judge Dredd says Clegg, and Clegg fucking yeets Acton's twitching corpse, and he turns his attention to Joe.
Yeah, just completely tosses him. We also got a little shadow here of Sensitive Clegg dealing with rejection, and he was like in full-on murder mode for like one panel.
Oh yeah, once he died, he started singing the old battle song. If you don't get out there and act.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Seriously, it's short 3-parter. Rob Williams and Chris Weston, you hear that? I was doing Walter mode.
There you go, Walter.
Fucking brought so much happiness to me. It was so amazing. Chef's kiss, 10 out of 10 stars. Stop publishing Dredd. It's fucking, this is the apex. Everything's just going to be down the hill from here.
Oh my gosh. High praise, the highest of praise from Cool Johnny Cool. And for myself, so I agree. This is probably for me, not my favorite Dredd story ever, but the best of the year Dredd wise.
Oh my God. And please, 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 for the 3 people who may be listening to this, go read Trifecta. This story will make so much more sense to you.
Yeah, I agree. It's Trifecta, like, I feel like Trifecta planted more seeds of greatness than it is in its own read. And I think it's a great read. I really do. But like, we've seen so many things woven throughout stuff that came after it that I think it's almost been like eclipsed by some of the great stuff that are like that came together in that one.
Yeah, I mean, I would point directly to Trifecta as the groundwork for everything we've seen in Dredd since then, because everything, all the major story points since then have come back to Trifecta. Look at Maitland and Carrie the 9.
Yeah.
That's still a holdover from Smiley and the Small House and Trifecta and all of that shit.
Yeah, we're still feeling it. That's what makes 2080 amazing. The fact that we're still experiencing reverberations from shit that happened. I mean, that happened way back in the day. But all of this stuff means something. You never know when something is going to come out of the woodworks, but when something random pops up in Mega City, it's very likely that there's a seed for it somewhere else, just like Keeper Hag, just like all this stuff that we as new readers don't even know about. And then we get to go do the research and find other stories and links. And they take everything into account. And we've said it a million times, but it's what makes 2000 AD and Dredd specifically, what makes Dredd great is like, they don't feel the need to just reboot over and over and over and over again. Judge Death that is in here in 2000 AD is the same Judge Death that he was back in the day. He's evolved, his character's evolved, but they don't feel the need to erase all that stuff. Even we
can kind of ignore the fact that he was a dentist now, but
yeah, even
they don't deny it.
Even the uncomfortable stuff, like Judge Death was a dentist. We're rolling with it. Nope, we're rolling with it. So
Mortis is a big Cure fan. Mortis is still in his emo phase,
right? So then we have the Outs coming back around.
Well,
and
before we do that, if we're going back to Prague 2260, we have the final chapter of Diabolic's London Calling.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Where Solomon gets left with his head in the guillotine, so to speak. He gets a win, but not a win. He gets I guess I would call it a stay of execution for misery to come.
Yeah, and like we were saying the other day, like at some point, I feel like they acknowledging this character and the background that they've given him. There will be some sort of reckoning for this character, and like again, it's kind of a ballsy and bold move for 2000 AD, but I like that they're not afraid to sort of be a little edgy with their edgy comic. We've already got a child eating priest in the mix here, who has become our favorite character from the Diabolics. But
I wouldn't have called that, but yet here we are.
Yes, no, exactly. Yeah. And when I started looking through Diabolics for the first time, my interest was piqued, but I was not geared up to fall in love with it.
Until that guy's dick fell off. And then all bets are off.
That was it. Yeah. So I did when at the end here, when he says, remember my real name, sir, the one you gave me. And then he
Simon.
Yes. And did you go on the internet and look that up by any chance?
Isn't that 7 in German?
I'm 7. Yes. 7.
Yes, he was the 7th in the test subjects. And now that Solomon has something to lose, he's kind of up shit creek because, when he was doing that nefarious shit and being a Nazi, he didn't have anything really to lose. He was immortal, but now he's got a mortal tether that he feels the need to protect. And he's kind of fucking, I guess, in the parlance of our podcast, worked himself into a shoot.
Right. And the other thing that I have to say, maybe one of my favorite pages in the history of the Diabolics is the final page of the story. I love it. It's
the sisters
page.
I forgot about Damien Delamore, but as soon as he popped back up, I went, "Oh, this guy that sticks his dick in everything."
Yes, I know. I was like, "Wow, hey, he's still around,
still sticking his dick in things."
He's now come face to face with the Sister Silver. Who knows at the end of this, when we catch up with him again, maybe he'll have already stuck his dick in Sister Silver as well. We don't know.
Well, Sister Silver might stick something in him too.
You never know. He probably would enjoy it. It's
true. Can't argue against.
This is a great page. I love the artwork on this one. I would like to own this page. I'd like to buy this page.
Man,
sir.
I've said it before and I'll say it again. Don Reardon has the ability to do so much with so little. And it's so in art, and I've said this too, it's so hard to stay readable and legible and just pure black and white. And he always does it. It's always got energy. It never feels like it was half-assed. It always feels vibrant and just being two colors.
Yeah, and a lot of times, especially reading the old school Dredd stuff, and going back into the early case files, there are some artists that worked on Dredd that I still struggle with because it's almost like they do their stuff in black and white, but without enough black to differentiate.
Yeah. So you're just looking at like line art.
Oh yeah, and it's
or technical drawing.
It makes it rough for me on some of those old ones, whereas I never feel that here. I feel like he sort of has kind of mastered this style, and it's reminiscent of Mike Mignola and how he did things, and like it's even that same
Jeff Darrow.
Yeah,
I've said him a lot. If people listening to this haven't checked it out, check out Frank Miller and Jeff Darrow's Hard Boiled. It's fucking amazing. It's all black and white and it's all hyper technical, but it never gets murky or blurry, much like the Diabolics here, but in a different style.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sad to see the Diabolics go. I know we're going to get more eventually. I'm glad that it's been sort of a recurring story in 2000 AD, and that again, we never have any way to gauge what other people are thinking about the Diabolics, other than people in the chat can tell us what they think of the Diabolics. But
how many people we got in the chat? Because I can't see the chat.
We got 4 people in the chat right now.
Yeah, man. That's like playing my first show all over again.
Right. But yeah, I look forward to the Diabolics coming back. Speaking of things that I always look forward to, Sinister Dexter, or just Dexter.
Yeah, I mean, it's the dinosaurs. There were dinosaurs.
We had
I don't know.
dinosaurs.
I'm kind of detached. I tried to stay attached to Dexter here, or Sinister, or Mrs. Dexter. I really tried, but I just wandered off.
Yeah, the dino action is cool looking. The artwork is good. I got no connection to these characters. Yep. Every week I read it. I read it religiously, and it doesn't work for me, brother. Great artwork. Sinister Dexter fans are probably digging this, because I think about if this were some like a story that I was into, if this were
like Judge Dredd the musical,
right? I love what they're doing, and I guess I could say that for Sinister Dexter. I think it's awesome that they've started, like, it's like now each week it's like, boom, here's Sinister, and now here's Dexter, and it goes back and forth, and they're on their separate paths, and like it's real super clever. Just like the thing that we loved so much with that Bullet Time story, that level of sort of creativity is still here in terms of how they're presenting it and stuff. I guess for us, it's just the characters haven't landed, and who knows, when we get 10 years down the road and we've read literally hundreds of Sinister Dexters, maybe
it may all make sense finally, you know. And Brink is my bellwether for that, because Brink was, and The Out for that matter, they were both stories that on paper I shouldn't have given two shits about, yet I got sucked in and enjoyed them. So anytime I go into a new story here in the prog where I'm like, what the fuck, I always, in the back of my head, I always go, Brink, The Out, things we shouldn't like, but we do. So keep your mind open. And my mind remains open for Sinister Dexter, but I got no tether to this. That fight at the docks at the end of the last chapter was cool. With the replicated Finnegan and the what's her face, who I can't remember, but it was like Scarlet Traces, where that one chapter we're like, oh, and the fighting, and it's cool, and then I kind of fell back into the shadows.
Yeah, and I guess that it's a good segue into Scarlet Traces, because it ended this week, and so we've gotten to check out 2 more chapters. How'd that ending sort of feel for you?
For Scarlet Traces?
Yeah,
I liked the end, where I guess you all should have read it by now, so here we are, where we've used technology gained from the armistice between the other planets and the Martians to actually accidentally find the Martian homeworld, the origin of species, so to speak.
Yeah.
So I
thought it ended really well. I liked the chapter in 2260 a whole lot, where we're finally back to, like, this is like involving War of the Worlds stuff. And then I loved the fact that in the last chapter, the one we did on our last podcast, was they found a little Easter egg way to add in every single 50s monster movie. But what I thought was cool here is we finally got that good payoff. The stuff that I really, really liked in previous Scarlet Traces was like the character interaction stuff, and I think I got lost in the action. But I thought they wrapped this up in a really cool way, where you're sort of having, like, they go and have a little, like, almost like a final plea, like, we're going to annihilate each other. Everyone's going to be dead unless you surrender. You're dead anyway. Surrender and see if it works, And so the 2260 chapter of Scarlet Traces I really liked. And then, they left us with something interesting to think about for next time, with finding the origin of the species.
That talk down at the end of the 2260 prog chapter was a nice twist, because in any other comic book, everybody would have taken up arms against the Martians and obliterated them.
Mm-hmm.
So it was nice to see decorum went out.
It was cool. Also, I really dug the the panels where you actually see the War of the Worlds, like tall walker sort of ships. I've been a big fan of those. I love the design, and I think they're terrifying. I'm actually a huge fan of the Tom Cruise War of the Worlds. I thought it was
really
awesome. Yeah,
I can't remember enough of it to.
There was this nightmarish thing that they did where one of the tentacles would grab somebody and pull them up, and then it would, whatever was going on in there, it would just rain blood down on everybody below. And it was, I just felt, and it's been a while since I saw it, but I just thought it was a fantastic, great, well done movie, well done adaptation of War of the Worlds. And I know people feel a certain way about Tom Cruise or whatever, but I thought it was great. And so I've always had like a sort of a connection to War of the Worlds and the original and all that stuff. And so I'm a big fan of this design.
And I often like try to contemplate a world where H.G. Wells was able to pull off what he pulled off on the radio and got people just mass hysteria via radio. Like, it'd be great to have that kind of play field to mess with now, because now everybody's so desensitized, it's like fucking whatever, dude, whatever. But back then, like, he caused mass hysteria with just the radio.
Yeah. The last time that I feel like the last time we saw something similar was Blair Witch.
Yeah. Yeah. Because nobody could figure out if that was real or not. That first Paranormal Activity kind of had that vibe because it was fresh and nobody knew what to expect. But yeah, people are so overly stimulated and desensitized because everything is at the tip of their fingers. And we all have our faces plastered into phones, and we're just constantly processing messages. And there's no belief to suspend anymore. Everybody thinks it's all bullshit. So it would take a miracle to pull off something like that these days.
Yeah. And H.G. Wells was incredible. He was just great. And I think it was Gene Shalit that said H.G. Wells is the Seth Putnam of his generation.
Stop it. Just don't bring Seth Putnam into this.
So
really, wait, did you have that one locked and loaded, or was that
was off the top of the head there?
I'm gonna mention Seth Putnam on the podcast today in the weirdest way.
Yeah, I'd say this is the first time anyone's mentioned Seth Putnam in 12 years.
I can't say anything about Seth Putnam that wouldn't get us canceled right now.
All right.
He's unacceptable.
Away. He passed away. Yes,
he did. So, man, The Out. My God, like, I legit at the end of the 2061 chapter went, oh God, where do we go from here? What happened?
Yeah, it's been building up in The Out, like, because you legitimately never know where this adventure that you're on is going to take you. And I think Dan Abnett's he's a fantastic writer. And Sid still looks ugly, but this is, I would say, of all
she's
the
under stress. Can we
say
give her a bye?
Of all of the chapters, and maybe, honestly, this is the truth. Maybe it's because we've spent so much time with Sid. I'm starting to go, that's my friend Sid, and she's beautiful just as she is. I think I've bought into this comic so much.
You've hit acceptance.
I'm accepting it. And I think the part where you gasped in 2261, was it for you when we finally get to see the alien?
The Tankarian?
Yeah.
Well, because I saw him. Wait a minute. Did we see him in the first chapter, or was that just their battle machinery that we saw? Because I couldn't remember. But so the Tankarians are still on the move, as I don't know if everybody remembers from the last book. They're still just eating up planets left and right. Apparently that's what they do. They're like xenomorphs. They just propagate and murder anything that's in the way of them propagating. And while Sid has been, having her cavities filled by analog David Bowie, the Tankarians have been just swamping all adjacent planets. And now they're on David Bowie's Moon Glow. What the hell is it? Moon Spell, Moon Glow,
Moon Mist.
Moon Mist. Yeah, no, that's that's my favorite.
Moon Fog. There we go.
Okay, so they're coming, and David Bowie analog is trying to get everybody off world, and it's chaos. And the thing I really like about the art is that when the events are chaotic, the art gets chaotic.
Yeah.
Like it gets really hard to see. So Sid ends up in the master suite in her ship because she has been bestowed the VIP pass amongst other things from analog David Bowie. And she's trying to figure out what happened, talking with her magical bag. Magical bag lets her know that she saw everything, including the thing she does with her tongue.
She got the VIP pass and the HPV pass as well.
All up and down. So they end up having problems with the ship they're on, and they have to make an emergency landing on this other weird planet because there's not a planet in the out that's not just fucking weird. And I love the fact that the nice crab people on this planet are very calmly going, "Hello, welcome to Harangue. Now get to the bunkers." And they're like, "What? What do you mean bunkers? Hello, welcome." They're like the automated response, just "Hello, welcome to Harangue. Now please go to the bunkers." They're doing the pre-flight. The exits are here and here and here. Your seat cushion can be used as a flotation device. Very calm, very calm.
Yeah.
And everybody just loses their shit because, like all good species, when we're supposed to stay calm in the face of chaos, we shit our pants and panic.
Right. We trample everyone else.
And I like the art because it immediately, when the panic sets in, when everybody hears that the Tankanar are on the way, the art immediately becomes more chaotic.
Yeah, and you definitely feel that she's in jeopardy with this too, because we've been in this long enough to know that there's not going to be a point for Sid where all of a sudden she's wielding a machine gun and, saying like, "This is my out, motherfucker," and like blowing somebody up. Like she's
not Ripley.
No, she's never going to be Ripley. And so for me, I think my favorite panel in all of the out is this like reveal where she's just dwarfed by this giant fucking monstrosity, which has a very S.K. Moore sort of quality to it.
Oh yeah, I loved him when Disraeli did his art for.
Yeah.
Right.
I loved him when he was called Disraeli.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like the fact that they figure out these sonic booms that are happening are actually the Tankanar. They're moving so fast and they're among them so fast that it's actually creating sonic booms. And that's terrifying.
Yeah, and this thing looks like the way the light is reflecting off of it. It looks like it has wings. It looks like this godlike, it kind of beautiful, but in its beauty, just nightmarish. You can see it, but you still don't fully understand how it works. And it has some sort of it's spoken some sort of blah, and whatever the fuck that is. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
In the artwork,
it's incomprehensible alien tongue.
There's like an automatopoeia kind of thing there. Yeah.
Now,
so
we know, like you said, Sid's not going to be one to pick up a gun and fight these things off. So she's trying to hide. So she gets down in her magical infinite bag. And that last panel where she finally gets in the bag and then we see the boom and the bag's gone. And I legitimately went, "Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. What happened to Sid?" And I know Sid doesn't have a gun, but what if Cadadalac's crew shows up?
I hope.
And they have guns and they're able to ugly kill this particular Tankanar and get Sid out.
Maybe. Who knows what Sid has in the bag?
Maybe Cadadalac's in that bag or one of his offspring.
I certainly hope so.
Norma Overdrive, the third, could be in there.
Yo, if a Norma Overdrive, the third, somehow ends up in the out, man, that would be, like a whole nother level of trifecta where we're now just completely mixing universes that don't belong. Although with Sid, who knows where the fuck she is, really?
Yeah, she could be in the outie, any uppie. All the things. I think these last two progs were a really strong end to what has been a really strong year.
Yeah, they really were. I feel like, and maybe if we get a nice end of the year episode organized here, we'll go into it way more. But I do feel like, for this year especially, everything started a little bit slowish and has ended really, really strong.
See, I think the opposite, because those first 3 months of progs were fire, because everything we had Feral and Foe, we had Vex, Dredd was on fire.
Wait. Am I thinking? No, maybe I'm getting my timelines mixed up because
the middle was kind of spongy.
No, you know what I'm thinking of? I'm thinking of the jumping on prog prior to this one. That was not the beginning of the year. That was the lackluster jumping on prog prior to this last great jumping on prog. No, so you're right. You're right.
Okay. So yeah, and next week I believe we get our year-end prog, and you know what that means?
Santa Claus and Dredd fighting.
It means it's beginning to look a lot like Vexmas.
Oh, that's true. It is. And, actually, we need to get our Vexmas plans in order. We also have another plan in the works.
We might watch a movie with some friends.
Yes, hopefully.
And we're going to watch Who Framed Roger Rabbit. I don't know why, but we're going to do that. I don't know. You probably didn't read the Tharg note in Prog 2261, did you?
No. What did it say about our podcast?
It said who? No. Dead World comes back.
Oh, that's what we need.
Not only are we getting Vex, we're getting Dead World.
Yeah, that's exactly what we need in our lives right now. We need more Dead World.
Oh my God. I was hoping for Halloween, but I'll take the Dead of Winter. See what I did there? Dead of Winter.
Oh, yeah. And a lot of the stuff that we just read, the stuff that's like leaving right now, man, I'm gonna miss a lot of the stuff that's on its way out. So,
but you know what's coming in to fill one of those spots?
What's that?
The Order.
Oh fuck. Oh God. Yeah. Hey, I'm just gonna put this out there. If anybody listening would like to be a guest podcast host and talk about, come on and legitimately send us a little audio file of you talking about the Order. We will inject that into our bi-yearly podcast.
Nope. You're gonna suffer with me.
All right, but if Francis fucking Bacon shows up, I'm gonna be pissed.
He's there the whole time.
Oh
the whole
God.
time. Hey, I did see.
I am done talking about Francis Bacon.
No, you're not. You're not at all. I did see Chelsea, our mutual friend Chelsea, has gone full in on Judge Dredd. I've been seeing her post about it on social media. It's been awesome to see somebody just diving in the deep end.
She purchased a bunch of Dredd rules recently.
She purchased the Great Little U-Front Disaster, which Chelsea, if you're listening to this, I have an actual pair of U-Fronts from that story gifted to me by HMK.
Yes.
Actually, I have the Judge Dredd 42 While the City Creeps. I have that. I have the whole run of Dredd rules. So it's awesome to see somebody else who gives a shit about Dredd rules. But she's read Necropolis.
Yeah.
So questions have to be asked. You and I have never been able to talk to a third party about Necropolis.
Yes.
Oh, no, I take that back. We talked to Jake, Michael, and Jim last year. But those guys are inside the park,
Yes. And, the beauty of Necropolis
is that it was all Kraken's fault.
No, the beauty of Necropolis, I was going to say, is that it's very abstract until you read recent Dredd, and then it's clear that I'm right. So,
we really need to do another episode of Necropolis. It's just going to be an hour and a half of each one of us going, now look here, fucker.
Another deposition. Yeah. No, but it has been cool. I've been trying to get Chelsea to jump on to the weekly Dredd reading.
That's where it's at.
That is where it's at, man. It's the best time in the world to be a Judge Dredd fan. And 100%. And Chelsea's in the chat and says she's going to be in Pittsburgh this weekend, and she's going to be at the show. So Johnny, that means you have to come to the show so we can all three sit down at Sheets and argue about Necropolis.
You got room in that tentacle-filled van for me?
Oh, we'll figure it out. If you're going, we'll figure it the fuck out.
Yeah, I get a free pass because I drew a poster.
Yes. All right.
That's that. I've been told that, so I'm just going to show up. Yeah, I mean, that's where the podcast started, was shouting at each other at Sheets after a show about you being wrong about Necropolis.
Right. About me being completely right about Necropolis. Exactly. And so
it really has been awesome to see somebody in this country go like deep end in Dredd, because that don't happen that often. And
right.
I was going to say, don't let the old fans tell you that the old stuff is better, because she's not going to talk to any old fans. It's us. It's fucking us. So, truth be told, the news stories are as good, if not better, than most of the sacred cows from Dredd's past. The Apocalypse War, the Cursed Earth, stuff like that. I will still put Small House and Trifecta up against all of that.
Yeah, agreed. And we have no reason to suck 2008's dick, because God knows they won't even ship their fucking Judge Dredd collections to us, even if we're willing to pay.
I really wanted that Defoe collection, but them fuckers keep it on their little island. That's the long game from 1776. That was the long game. Their spiteful little victory. All right, you expats, you don't get this. Oh shit!
All right, they're striking out against two individuals in the United States with their vengeance.
Well, we're gonna get those guys.
Yeah,
specifically.
Yeah. Oh my God! Well, if you want to get more of these guys, tune in next week.
Well, let's not go making promises we can't keep.
Tune in next week on Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. For those of you in the UK, it's probably 6 a.m. We're sorry. And my name is Heavy Metal Kid.
This is Cool Johnny Cool, and you've been listening to
Cursed
Earth
Radio.
Keep listening, creeps.
I'll see. We don't even need the thing.
Nah, I did that.
Right.
Shit,
hey.
I'm fucking watching AEW, and CM Punk just came out to MJF's music. I gotta see what the fuck's going on here.
Oh my God, Wiener! I don't know how to turn off the live stream, so I guess we're just. Oh shit! Yes,
we're still live on YouTube.
Oh my God, no, we're not. Oh fuck yeah.